Working while traveling is a dream come true for most people. While all of us got better working outside of the office in the last 2 years, working while traveling is an actually completely different challenge. It's a completely different ball game. I actually have been working remotely since 2012. My whole career has been remote, and I actually traveled for quite a large part of my career. I traveled and I worked. So in today's video, I wanted to share my 5 top tips on how to stay productive while you're traveling and actually working. So kind of how to juggle travel and your career. And I'll include a bonus tip in the end of this video to help you find best destinations to travel and work from. My name is Jelena and I'm the VP of Product Management in a really cool startup during the work week. And on weekends, I share my passions towards product management, remote work, and productivity on this channel. So if this is something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing. So currently I'm in Austin, Texas, and I've been actually on the road for the last month. It started all with like a week in New York, then coming to Austin, then flying to Nashville. Actually tomorrow I'm flying to Kansas, then I'm going to Houston, and then the week after I'm going to New York and then back home to Europe. It's been a really fun month, and it's going to be actually total 6 weeks on the road. And that kind of brought me thinking about the kind of different things that I apply and how I stay actually productive while I'm traveling. And quite honestly, this is not even the first time that I do this. Last summer I spent like a little bit over a month in Greece and kind of toured Greece a little bit. Kind of year before that, I believe I was touring the Baltics. Then kind of had one period where I toured Cyprus and Georgia for the summer. So like I tend to do this a lot. And then I think I perfected sort of things I do to actually stay productive when working and traveling, because like I'm not really a freelancer. I have actually a career and I work in a company and a team, and I'm accountable to other people and other people are accountable to me. So I have kind of these responsibilities towards them, and I don't necessarily have the freedom to plan my own schedule always, as many of the freelancers do. And then I thought, well, you know, what are some of the things that I do to actually help me stay productive while on the road? And I wanted to share those in this video. So working while traveling is quite different from working from home, partly because, well, mainly actually because you're completely outside of your routine and your kind of normal environment. So like when you're traveling, obviously you want to explore a place that you're in and you want to have fun, and your brain kind of goes, you know, on steroids and like heavy case of FOMO of all the things that you're missing out when you're actually having to work and you're not exploring the location that you're in. So it can be really like challenging, and it can be quite stressful and cause really overwhelm. Especially it's difficult to work and travel when you're not the type of person who can focus, you know, working in a coffee shop or working from the pool or from the beach or airport or like whatever it is. And I'm definitely not that type of person. My boyfriend, I think he could focus like, I don't know, like anywhere. Like in the middle of the road, he would be focused and he could code and actually do productive work. I'm just not that type of person. I need things like kind of specific circumstances to actually make me productive. Generally, I need a really proper workspace. I cannot really do my work from coffee shops and restaurants, sometimes a little bit, but I have a lot of calls during my workday, and like I need professional work environment. A lot of these calls are outside of my own team and my company, so they're like external, and I need professional environment. And also some of the information I share on these calls are really not for public to hear, so I wouldn't feel really comfortable just, you know, doing my calls from anywhere, and that's why I need kind of more private space. Other challenges when kind of working and traveling obviously include like sketchy internet connection. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm looking at you, Mykonos, like I did, like I stayed in Mykonos for I think like around a month, and it was fun, but like there were some internet challenges, you know, kind of island life. It's sort of expected. I mean, who goes to Mykonos to work? But yeah, here we are. It's really hard to stay productive when you're working and traveling and not really feel stressed. And then like kind of this enjoyable and fun experience can really turn to actual hell. However, here are 5 tips they're coming up, kind of that I apply when I'm working and traveling, and I've been doing that in the last 10 years. Tip number 1, get good accommodation. I really think good accommodation is critical. Obviously, good accommodation will vary from person to person, but by good accommodation, I mean like finding a space that is inspiring. I generally prefer renting when I'm kind of do long-term travel. I prefer renting apartments over hotel rooms, just because it feels more like everyday life. Like there's kitchen, there's bedroom, like living space. And most importantly, many of Airbnbs and apartments you rent these days, they would have designated workspace. So this apartment has like really small workstation. It's not ideal, but it's okay to get by. What's really cool about this specific building that we're staying in Austin is that it has its own co-working space. So that's really awesome. Obviously, most of the buildings won't have that, especially in Europe. But then kind of when you're looking for your accommodation, you can actually plan out in advance your co-working space. A really cool thing that you can do, obviously, is get a WeWork membership. And then if there is a WeWork in the area, you can just kind of go to that WeWork. But I think like when selecting accommodation, it's really good that you actually find maybe a place that has workspace in the apartment itself or in the building, or even better, find like a co-working space nearby. Another option that we tried last summer and that was really good is kind of this co-working, co-living spaces such as Jelena chain, and they have a lot of locations. We've been in their location in Greece, in the Pelion region, up in the mountains. It was delightful, a very inspiring, beautiful space that made us all feel very motivated. I went with a group of friends and my boyfriend, so it made us all feel very inspired, very motivated. It was very comfortable. The co-working space there, I cannot say was like kind of the best co-working in the world, but it was good enough. The internet was a little bit sketchy, but you know, we had our backup. But it was a very lovely space to be in, and I know kind of this is probably, that location in Greece is probably one of Jelena's worst locations. They have much better locations in other places. But yeah, that's kind of something that you can look into when you're selecting your accommodation, to either find a space with a workstation in it or a co-working space nearby. Tip number 2 is to get good gear to actually work. I mean, I used to be the girl who could just work on her MacBook Pro, like 13-inch MacBook Pro actually. Now I'm a different kind of girl. I still need my laptop, obviously, but now I have a few accessories with it, such as a laptop stand and a keyboard and a mouse and like that whole thing. And I honestly, at the moment, find it really hard to work without my second screen, because at home I have a second screen and in my office I have a second screen. So at the moment, like kind of working on my actually 14-inch laptop at the moment, like it's not simple, but at least kind of adding a few accessories can make it a bit easier. And if you're interested in more advanced travel setups, I'm like plugging in the channel of my boyfriend here. His channel is called Hacking Modern Life, and in his recent video he actually shared his really over-the-top portable workstation, because like he's, you know, the gadget guy. So if you're into gadgets, you can watch his video, and I'll link it in the description down below. And kind of with regards to gear, I would say like internet backup is a must, especially if you're traveling kind of in more remote areas like mountains and islands and stuff like that. I mean, these days with mobile internet being like actually pretty good in most places, I would just plan out to get like kind of a package with a lot of data in it, so that, you know, you can have your portable hotspot when you actually need it and don't have access to Wi-Fi. Tip number 3 is probably the most important tip of today, and that is to get on a schedule. So you need to get yourself back into the routine. I'm personally really somebody who strives on a routine, and I don't have every minute of my day planned out, but large part of my day is planned out generally when I'm at home. And I think that's even more important when you're traveling, because if you get yourself into a routine and you plan your calendar and your schedule, you will actually kind of allocate time to get your work done and understand what are your priorities and what needs to be done in a specific day. And then you will kind of feel less stressed, and you will ensure that you have time to actually enjoy the location that you're in. So sticking to a schedule and sticking to a routine will actually help you avoid wasting time and then thinking, oh, you know, like what should I be doing right now? And like kind of having this like kind of even space in your schedule to waste time. So if you have a clear routine and a planned day, you will not waste your time and you will actually work more efficiently in a more organized way, and you will be sure to have fun with your free time. Tip number 4 is to really take care of yourself. Generally, I'm the person who really, I think I take a really good care of myself. That includes kind of sleeping well and having a very strict sleeping schedule, exercising, eating well, drinking a lot of water and that kind of thing when I'm at home. And I think that becomes even more important when you're actually traveling, because if your body is not feeling well, if you're tired and kind of not nourished well enough or dehydrated or whatever, you cannot really stay productive and inspired to enjoy your kind of work leisure trip situation. So I think that's really critical. In our company, I work in a company where work-life balance is really something that's highlighted and encouraged. So we are not a kind of hustler culture type of company, and hopefully you are in such circumstance as well. And if you're not, if you're just a freelancer, I think kind of getting into that mindset is really critical, because again, if you're not taking care of yourself, you won't be really able to enjoy the place that you're in, and you won't be really productive in the work that you do, and that is really critical. So if you feel well, you will be more productive, is all I'm saying. And tip number 5 is to schedule a fun activity after work. So I noticed that if I have something like interesting scheduled after my work day, when I'm traveling, I actually procrastinate less. I hardly procrastinate because I'm like, I cannot wait to get out and have that like awesome experience and do that awesome activity that I have planned. So I would recommend you do the same. So when you are planning your routine and you're planning your day, I would recommend scheduling in something fun in the end of your work day every day, so that you put a little bit of pressure on yourself and kind of speed through your day, like work faster and more efficiently, so that you can enjoy the fun activity that you had planned out. And finally, for the bonus tip of today is actually 2 websites that can help you plan out your like work and travel trips. So one of them is Nomad List, and Nomad List really helps you find digital nomad friendly destinations. So if you're working remotely or you're freelancer or whatever, you can find their really cool locations to work from, and they have like a ton of filtering to help you really find what you're looking for, like something suited to your needs. And the second website I'm going to recommend is Work From, and this website actually helps you find work locations, so more like co-working spaces or restaurants or coffee shops or whatever that are work friendly, so that you can work more efficiently. So if somebody who likes working from coffee shops, you can find on their website, you can find actually on that website, Work From, you can find good coffee shops to work from, or just like really good co-working spaces that are a little bit more comfortable than coffee shops, if you ask me. Working while traveling is really a dream come true. I really love working remotely and the freedom it actually gives me. However, these trips can be a little bit stressful sometimes, but with these tips that I shared in this video and a bit of careful planning, it can become very enjoyable and rewarding. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like it and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And here's a video somewhere here on the screen that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Thank you, and see you next week.